So let's talk about the Ravens. Pretty good week one opener. They actually uh, did a lot better than I expected. I expected them to win pretty handily, but I didn't think it was going to be a drubbing like that. So 38-6. You were closer on the score prediction than I was. Cleveland, they just look. Ravens picked up where they left off last regular season, and so did Cleveland.
Yeah, pretty much. The sad thing is it was 38-6, and Baltimore didn't even play that well.
It felt like a preseason game in a way where like you could tell they're still trying to work out a few things. Like they weren't quite. They executed. Obviously, Lamar looked great, but you could tell there's still some things that they're just trying to figure out a little bit. But Cleveland, they look like they just woke up.
Yeah, no, it was a case of just one team just clearly being much better than the other. They outclassed Cleveland. I mean, almost everywhere. I say they had
the running game.
They had some problems in the run game. Baltimore didn't run it particularly well, and they still struggled to stop the run despite all of the defensive additions in the offseason. But like I said, Lamar was fantastic. I think it was 20 for 25, 275 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, led the team in rushing 45 yards. I mean, there's no debate about it at this point. He's, one of the top 2-3 players in the league.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah. There's not much to say. I mean, he just looks great, and you can tell he puts in the work to perfect his craft. When you see players like that have that drive, they're going to be all-time greats. And I have no doubt Lamar's going to be an all-time great when it's all said and done. Yeah. But let's break it down. One of the big criticisms I've had of what they've done with the team in the offseason was wide receiver, right? I felt like they needed to do more there. They looked solid yesterday. Hollywood looked great. He's healthy, and he looks like he's going to be a really good wide receiver.
Went over 100 yards yesterday.
Yep, 101 yards.
Mark Andrews looked great. He had a couple of really nice catches, scored a couple touchdowns.
Yeah. Willie Snead had a good game. Willie Snead had a good game too.
Willie was fine, but you would expect that from Willie. He's in 6th, 7th year or whatever it is now.
Yeah.
Wasn't really impressed with what I saw from Miles Boykin. I mean, he caught 3 or 4 targets, 34 or 37 yards. The one he didn't catch was a drop, right on the goal line.
Yeah.
So I mean, he wasn't awful or anything, but he just wasn't. He didn't stand out. He wasn't impressive.
Yeah. So I'm going to be fair. No, the wide receiver core didn't look like anything special outside of Hollywood. But also they didn't need to be for this game. I mean. No. They just weren't challenged. So I'm going to be fair to those guys, to Boykin, to Duvernay. I don't even think Prochet got any snaps on offense, right? I think he was just returning.
I'm not sure if he got any snaps. He didn't get any targets.
Yeah. So, like I said, they weren't really needed in this type of game. So we had to wait for a week where we need some more offensive production or, passing production, and we got to see how these
that's coming. That's coming real soon.
Yeah.
I mean, Houston, they'll probably need them more against Houston. They're definitely going to they're definitely going to need them week three against Kansas City.
You would think so, right? Well, we think that because Deshaun Watson is a really good quarterback, right?
Yeah.
And he always, finds a way to put that team on his back and take them to the playoffs. But no Hopkins there, and with this secondary, that's another thing about this game. That secondary looked like they were dominant. They look dominant. So I don't.
Odell had 10 targets, only caught 3 passes for 22 yards. A couple of those were drops. But yeah, I think Jarvis Landry had about 50, 60 yards, somewhere around there. Those guys couldn't get loose at all. And to be fair, part of that is that Baker Mayfield is not good. He's not the guy.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, Calais Campbell had 3 passes defensed in that game. He is a D lineman.
And that tip pass, he was trying to intercept the ball.
Yeah.
You know, he was mad at himself for not getting it. Imagine that your D tackle mad because he couldn't pick off a pass. Right.
Yeah.
But you know, so we'll see. We'll see how that works out, right? We played a worse quarterback with better wide receivers and running backs this week. We're playing a team next week with a much better quarterback, worse wide receivers and running backs. So
yeah,
we'll see how that works out. Worse O-line too, I think.
Oh yeah, I mean, Houston's O-line is trash. But yeah, no. Speaking of the O-lines, you know, Baltimore, they struggled a little bit with their O-line. They weren't really opening up any holes for Ingram and Dobbins.
Right.
For the most part, they did an okay job protecting Lamar, but you know, they Cleveland was able to get some pressure, particularly after Ronnie Stanley left. We'll have to wait and see how bad his injury is. I don't think they're too concerned about it though.
Yeah, Harbaugh said he expected him at practice today. I haven't checked, or it was tomorrow. They're not practice today. Tomorrow.
You know, I mean, Harbaugh's a liar though, so I mean, we'll see. We'll
but
see.
You know, he didn't look too worried either. So
Rashad Perriman was day to day for an entire year.
Look, there are times when Harbaugh lies and you know it's clearly a lie, right? When they asked him about Ryan Stanley, he really didn't look concerned, you know. And we kind of felt that watching him on the sideline. I mean, he wasn't in the locker room; he was just standing on the sideline. It looked like he could go back in if he was needed, but they knew early on that they had that game pretty much in hand,
right?
You know?
On the other side, their pass rush was all right. You know, they got to Baker a couple times. But again, nothing special there. Where they really struggled was trying to stop the run. Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt both had good days. It just, you know, didn't matter.
No. And this is what we were trying to say at the end of last year when everybody got that Derrick Henry panic. You know, we got to add more to the line and stop the run. No, all you got to do is put up more points. That's all you got to do.
Points stops the run. That's it.
Yeah.
Patrick Queen looked great. He had 8 tackles. He had a sack. He looked great. Couldn't stop the run.
Malik Harrison looked good too.
It didn't matter. Yeah, and it didn't matter.
Yeah. I was happy with everything I saw. There's no question in my mind Patrick Queen is going to be a good player. There's really no question in my mind about Malik Harrison. Although I didn't think Malik Harrison was going to get as many snaps with this team just because, you know, we have LJ Fort already.
Well, you know, I mean, they're rotating. LJ
they're rotating, yeah.
Got himself 6 tackles yesterday too.
Yeah.
Or
those
Sunday.
two, I mean, all of them, Queen, Ford, Harrison, they fly to the ball.
Yeah.
They fly to the ball. What I noticed in that game was they're quicker to the ball, more violent hits. Even Deshaun Elliott had that big hit on Kareem Hunt, like
laid him out.
Yeah. So I like seeing that from the defense. But like you said, the run defense. Look, I mean, you're talking about 2 really good running backs. So
and that's what I was going to say too. Like, you got to keep things in perspective a little bit, man. Like Cleveland has Nick Chubb, who's, you know, top 5 running back. Kareem Hunt, you could argue, is, you know, top 5, top 10 running back. They have a good O-line. They're a good running team. Yeah. You know, they're going to be able to run the ball. Yeah. Tennessee, I mean, they build their entire team around Derrick Henry running the ball.
Yeah.
Like, some people are just going to be able to run on you. You know, that's why you have to be able to score points.
Yeah. That's all you got to focus on. Focus on putting up some points, and I'll take away their run. A team like Tennessee, look, we slept on them a little bit. That's all it was. I don't really think they're on our level, to be honest. I think, you know, we'll see that in a few weeks too. We play them this year.
I think you saw that last night when they struggled mightily against the Denver Broncos.
Yeah. So don't panic about the run defense. The defense as a whole is going to be one of the best defenses in the league. But yeah, next week we play Houston. I think that's going to be another decisive win. So start 2-0, but good start to the season.
Yeah.